kann nur zoomen.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Was war das gerade?
I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
Okay. Das ist wohl mit der gleichen Farbe gemalt, was in dem Bootshaus war. Spannend.
The vegetation here has fossilized from the roots up. To think they once grazed animals here, the remnants of occupation being evidence to that. It is all sick to death. The water is too polluted for the fish, the sky is too thin for the birds, and the soil is cut with the bones of hermits and shepherds. I've heard it said that human ashes make great fertilizer, that we could sow a forest from all that is left of your hips and ribcage, with enough left over to thicken the air and repopulate the bay.
Okay. Ich habe noch nicht so ganz verstanden, was hier passiert sein soll oder warum er sowas erzählt. Mal hier links beginnen. Hier waren wir ja eben noch unten. Da würde ich sagen, gehen wir noch weiter auf die Insel rauf. Jetzt erstmal hier hochgehen vielleicht. Aber ich muss gerade sagen, das Spiel hat mich schon voll drin, ey. Können wir da überhaupt hoch? Sieht nicht so aus, oder? Nee. Ja, wir müssen wohl da lang.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my ordnance survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome break services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
Okay. Geht es um ein Verbrechen?
It's only at night that this place makes any sluggish effort at life. You can see the buoy and the aerial. I've been taking to sleeping through the day in an attempt to resurrect myself. I can feel the last days drawing upon me. There's little point now in continuation. There must be something new to find here. Some nook or some cranny that offers a perspective worth clinging to. I've burnt my bridges. I've sunk my boats and watched them go to water.
And neither did he. Either, nee, drink. Also no drink? Vielleicht können wir das... Ja, von unten werden wir es nicht besser lesen können. Hm. Also ein Containerschiff irgendwie. Angespült worden und interessiert keinen, ne? Die Container alle auf dem Schiff? Fünf Container, wie waren die denn da drauf gestapelt, bitte? Dann noch plus die Kisten. Da will wir zurückgehen, ne? Ja.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk. There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Ein Einsiedler? Was meint er denn mit Einsiedler? Sechs Container hier, da hinten ist noch einer, 7 Container, 8 Container. Payload. CEO, was? EAP?
What charnel house lies at the foot of this abyss? How many dead shepherds could fill this hole?
Wie viele tote Hirten bräuchte es, dieses Loch zu füllen? Davon wie tief das ist, ne? Würde ich sagen.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there.
Da war doch gerade was. Gerade was gehört. Wie so ein... Oder bilde ich mir das ein? Freunde, sagt mir nicht, ich werde verrückt bei diesem Spiel.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Ein Mann skandinavischer Herkunft namens Jakobsen. Jakobsen, ne? Spannender Name, muss ich sagen.